We are live on Loose Lines. Daniel Hibberd has joined me after galloping. What's going on, mate?
The horse is prone to doing everything wrong. It's that come on, Carly. It's just won by about 60 metres.
Did it really?
Well, something like probably not that far, but it just trotted all the way for once and won easy. Mind you, I think it was odds on, so you're pretty brave backing a horse that's prone to galloping.
No, you are indeed. I doing something a little bit differently. I've actually got my website open up. So anyone that's not on Facebook, anyone's watching this on Facebook and they've got friends or that aren't on Facebook, or if they want to get involved, by all means go to either my YouTube page or you can go to campbellscomments.com.au and you'll be able to see it there. I don't know how that happened. I got a mate sending me a thing through. Got some pretty funky stuff happening in Chichura as we speak, mate. But yeah, that's okay. We've got plenty to discuss, plenty to talk through and go through. It's been a big couple of weeks. I wasn't on last week due to just workload. I do apologise. You weren't available, and I had a lot of stuff going on in a lot of places.
I went to Geelong for nothing.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Sprinkler.
Yeah.
The sprinkler. So yeah, Philip Wood is on. We will touch off on the Mount Gambia Cup Carnival later on, Philip. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm sure he'll keep us posted. And someone else whose name I can't pronounce, so I apologise for that. But welcome to you, Robert Lynch.
Well, we know you can't speak English.
I didn't have a hell of a time at Oyen on a couple of words. I think they were so and what, I think, were the two words. Like I just couldn't get them out. But
and that. I think you struggled with that as well. Yeah.
Rightio. It has been a very, very big week in sport, in harness racing, big couple of weeks. I actually have done a quick interview, Daniel, just prior to us coming on. I shouldn't say quick, with Stacey Towers. Before I throw to the interview, you haven't seen it, you haven't been a part of it, but just an amazing effort, wasn't it? You could see just a raw emotion in Tiff's voice and her persona, both before the race and even after the race, after taking out the Tiff Murray at Echuca.
It's a pretty poignant race there at Echuca on Echuca Cup night. It's not the biggest race in the world, but I mean it has a fairly significant meaning for a lot of people in the Goulburn Valley, and you saw it there on full show after that roll, before and after the race. So it's every year seems to pull at the heartstrings a bit, which is really great to see.
I actually said that in the interview. I think every year someone who wins it, there's emotion. I'm pretty sure Lisa Miles won it one year, and Moni Burnett from memory. And yeah, it means so much. It's interesting in the interview, Stace will get to it in a sec, but she had everything under control. Everything was fine. And then she came back and Lee was there and she just lost it. Once she got there and Lee was there, she just totally lost it. So, it definitely means a lot. It's a great little race. And I think sometimes that's what we lose sight of. We're all about prize money, how big things can be and all the rest. Whereas reality is, the reason we do the sport is because we all enjoy it. We were at Oyen the other day. Everyone went to Oyen because they enjoy it. Not for the prize money or all the rest. They all want to win the Oyen Cup, but they all go there because they want to enjoy those meetings. And I think that's one of the great things about it. I'm actually going to throw to this interview, Daniel, and that'll give you a couple of minutes to get reset and organised. You look like a little bit of a mini me. I'm going to reframe you up. I do apologise for that, but Daniel actually logged on at about 1 minute past 7, not before 7.
Not my fault.
No, it wasn't. No, that's technology. Don't worry. We've had all sorts of issues left, right and centre today as well. So, yeah, don't worry about that. But there's a few people in the same boat. But, please, if you're out there watching, get involved. We encourage people to get involved. I'm going to throw to this interview with Stacey right now. It'll take about 10 to 12 minutes. Sit back and enjoy it. Stacey's great. She contributes a lot to the show too, Daniel, over the journey. And we also touch on Pacing for Pink, which you and I will touch on at the end of it. But we'll hand over now to Stacey, and I'll be back with you very shortly, mate. Rightio, now on Campbell's Comments, catching up with Stacey Towers. Hello, Stace.
Hey, Paul. How you going?
Good, thank you. And you've had a pretty eventful sort of week in the world of Stacey Towers.
Yeah, pretty emotional week.
You, for those who aren't aware, you won the Tiff Murray Memorial at Echuca, which is traditionally always run on the Echuca Pacing Cup night. It's a race that's been there for a long time. How long has the race been going for? Unfortunately, how long has Tiff not been with us?
I'm pretty sure that they started it up that following year after Tiff passed away. So it's been running for at least 10 years now.
Yeah, and it means a lot to a lot of people. Anyone that wins it, I think Monty won it one year. Anyone that wins a race, they want. It's a race you ladies want to win, isn't it? You want to win You want to win every race, but you know what I mean. It
just means that little bit more when you win Tiff's race. Just being, a lot of us were friends with Tiff, so just means that little bit extra special when you do win it.
For some people that perhaps watching this and don't know who Tiff was, do you want to just give a quick little insight into Tiff?
So Tiff was a young girl, worked, she was involved in the industry, partner of Lee Sutton at the time, worked at Garrard's, drove herself, diagnosed with a brain tumour, and then had surgery and due to complications passed away from the brain tumour. Wasn't her first rodeo with a brain tumour. She'd had them when she was younger as well. So, she was only 22, I think, when she passed away. She had young Miller, who was only 1. It was a big loss.
It was indeed. She was an incredibly positive person. She didn't, even the last brain tumour wasn't there to slow her down, was it?
No, she was a fighter to the end, and she was determined. She was, obviously Lee and Tiff were planned to get married, I think in the February, and Tiff passed away the October before, But she wanted to get to that day, and she didn't want to do it beforehand because she was determined she was going to get there, but unfortunately she didn't. No,
and she's sadly missed, and it means a lot. We say about crowning achievements, I suppose, winning an Inter-Dominion, contesting an Inter-Dominion, Miracle Mile races like that. This would be right up there as, I suppose, one on your bucket list and one that means a lot to you.
Well, I've been wanting to win it for a while, and generally I'm on something that finishes out the back. So I was a bit emotional, like going to the races as well. Nikita had asked me to come on pre-race and just have a chat, and I, just brought up feelings of Tiff, so I was already emotional and tried to suck them in and ugly cried on TV, but that's just how much it meant, really.
I think that's the reality. Don't worry about how you cried, because I think the reality of it all is that that's what it is. I mean, you cried because you're emotional. You got an attachment, and that's why it means so much. It's they say about crocodile tears. There was no crocodile tears in any of your interview. That's for sure.
Yeah, no crocodile tears.
You'll be contesting it next year, and you'll be trying to win it just as hard, I'd imagine.
If I, because the format's changed, so it's people have to drive and nominate their driver. Previously, it used to be lady drivers were invited, so anybody could get a drive in it if they've got a horse in it. And I was just lucky enough that my brother picked the race out for one of his horses, so that I could have a drive in it. So he brought him up from Leeton and brought 4 others along with him, and it was good for them to get the win too. Absolutely.
I think it's one of the great stories of the week, and congratulations to you. I think you handled yourself terrifically. You probably say you cried too much, but that's okay. I think you did a great job, and you actually, I'm sure Tiff would be sitting there, very proud of the way you conducted yourself, even asking for a little bit of help, and obviously that seemed to work, didn't it?
Well, it did. I think Tiff was there when Kate come off down the back, because when Kate come off, I was like, I think, it felt like the heavens had opened. I was like, oh, yep, I think I'm going to win tonight.
Yeah. Did you cry down the back straight?
I did when I was pulling up, yes.
That's good. And I think it's good that you say that, because I think, when you drive a horse, I remember, a lot of people say that when you drive your first winner and, you pull up and you've got the drivers all around you, but there's sometimes you can be very lonely over that back straight for, what seems like a long time when everything goes right. So it's a good place to be, isn't it, pulling up after a race over the back straight?
It was, and then I'd composed myself to get back to the presentation, and then I seen Lee, and then I cried again.
Blame him. That's his problem. He done a great job the other day too. He drove 800 winners, so I think that's it's a pretty good achievement for the young man too. So he's doing a good job, young Lee. We're here for 2 reasons. I reached out to Donna Castles in regard to pacing for Pink and making sure people are across everything that's involved with the pacing for Pink as well. You yourself, Juanita Breen, Mark Watson, a lot of yous work tirelessly behind the scenes, don't take any fanfare, don't want any fanfare. But it's a really emotional time coming up, the 8th of May, I suppose, especially, but the month of May for raising awareness for breast cancer.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in the industry that breast cancer's touched. Personally, I'm involved because of this, so just helping her and the battles that she went through. But there's a number of people in the industry that have been affected one way or another through breast cancer. It's great that last year we had the boys involved in pink pants, and I think they love getting in the pink pants. So yeah, I think we're all in it for different reasons, and we all love to raise as much money as we can.
I think you say we're all in it for different reasons. I think the beauty of these fundraisers, teal pants, we need to get blue pants going for the men and a few other things for prostate cancer and all the rest. But not many people do it for the wrong reasons. They might. You don't want to miss out, I suppose, and be the only person out there without pink pants on is probably one of the reasons. But once they get involved and getting along to the meeting that's going to be on the 8th of May, it's so much fun. It's actually a meeting you'll want to attend and have a bit of fun at, isn't it?
It is. It's a really good meeting. There's lots of things happening. This year we'll have the drivers' race again on the pony trots.
I'm not competing.
We'll have, the ongoing raffles and the silent auctions and just being Mother's Day, we hope to attract, people bringing their mother along. And, the biggest thrill is that we've actually got Glenn McGrath who will be attending the day. So that's pretty awesome.
And basically he's just going to be walking through the crowd, talking to as many people as he can, raising awareness. Yep,
that's it.
We might have to get him doing some raffles.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get him involved as much as we can.
There is that many raffles. Rightio. So the business side of things, the pants, they actually close tomorrow. So orders and money to be received on or before the 31st of March. You've got to contact Mark Watson on 0409 401 189. And we want everyone to get involved. So they've got a day left to go. There's a few different ways people can get involved with the sponsorship of the pants, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. So drivers could approach somebody. Don't be afraid to just ask. What's the worst somebody can say is no, they don't want to do it. It doesn't have to be a business. It could be a group of friends. Make up a name, put it on your leg. It doesn't matter. Whatever, person comes on and is involved, there's money going towards the foundation. So out of the $400 for new people signing up for Pink Pants, $200 goes straight to the foundation, and then $200 is to cover the cost of the pants. So so people know that the $400 isn't just going to the pants, it is actually going partly to the foundation.
And that part of it flows on that, and it was something I didn't realise until the other day talking to Donna, and I want to make sure people are aware of it. I sponsored Greg Sugars last year and Grant Campbell, my younger brother. Luckily I drive better than him, but that's okay. But I sponsored them last year, $200 to basically renew it, and the boys will wear the pants. I haven't spoken to Greg, but I've got no doubt Greg will sign up for it, that part as well. So and that money will just go straight there because the guys will still have the pants.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, if you've got pants already, just reapproach that person that was the sponsor of those, and that $200 goes straight up to the foundation because we've already got the pants, so we don't need new ones.
It's a lot of fun. If other businesses want to get involved, they maybe don't want to sponsor with the pants and the likes, they can still contact Marg and get involved on the day at Shepparton, because it keeps getting bigger and bigger every day, doesn't it?
It does. We are seeking people to donate raffle prizes. Obviously, as much as we can get donated, then we don't have to buy anything, which then, we're raising more funds. So it's not coming out of anyone's pocket, but we're raising funds for the foundation.
You are indeed. What other harebrained idea have you got? You're going to have another one, I know that, because... I
do, but I'm keeping it under my hat at the moment. I've got to pass some legalities first about that.
Should I be nervous, or I got nothing to worry about?
No, you don't have anything to worry about.
Very happy with that. That's good. I'm very happy. I enjoyed the pony trot last year. I don't enjoy getting beaten, though. That's the worst part about it. Everyone said you can't get beat on this one, you'll just win. And I'm like, yep. And then when I wasn't catching them, I'm like, I've made a mess of this one. So, yeah.
No, that's right. Well, there's no Oprah this year. She's been sold on, so.
Oh, well,
She won't be around.
that's okay. How do the drivers, they can actually buy their drive too, then that's how that works on the day, isn't it? They actually get to buy the pony trot drive.
Yeah, just on the day. I'll put up some information regarding that soon. Just whether we run it the same or we throw a few more curveballs in there, but just to keep it fun and exciting and everybody wanting to do it.
I might have to get fit. I might be able to run along instead of putting a driver cam on. I might run along the side with a camera, and I'll see how I go that way. So I think we need a few stewards, especially on that bottom turn. If James Herbertson and those guys are going to partake in it, that's got a bit messy down there. So yeah, but anyway, it'll be fine. All right, so that is on the 8th of May. But please, for the whole month of May, the entire state of Australia, I believe, has got behind it. I think Queensland were about the only ones that hadn't officially signed up, but unfortunately due to the floods at that stage, but I would imagine that they were pretty close to signing up as well, which is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but big effort for everybody across Australia wide to get involved. If you are out there and you haven't seen anything about it, go to the Pacing for Pink Facebook page. All the flyers and details are on there, and just get in contact.
Get in contact. Stacey won't say her name, but get in touch with herself. Juanita Breen, you can ring Donna. Donna's very busy, so it gets a little bit hard. And Marg Watson, and I will just very quickly throw that slide back up. 0409 401 189. Marg will quite happily talk to you. She'll probably talk to you for a little while, but that's okay. That's what you get when you have a phone call with Marg, isn't it, Stace?
That's it.
That's how it works. Stace, thank you very much for joining me, and congratulations. And I don't know if congratulations are the right word. I think more well done. I think for that win the other day. And I know it might mean a little bit different, but it's an achievement that you richly deserved, and the emotion you showed afterwards, it shows what it means. And it's what I love about our sport is the emotion that certain wins have, and we've got to be able to encapsulate as many of those as we can.
Yeah, imagine if I do win a real big race one day.
If it's called the Tiff Murray Memorial into Dominion or something like that, you'll be jibber and rag. You'll be over the back straight all night. You won't be coming back for a long time. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Stace.
Thanks, Paul.
Daniel, we're back. Sorry about that, mate. I was trying to make sure I had everything sorted out, and I looked up and the screen went blank. So we're both looking down, and I didn't have the audio on. So do apologise for everyone for that. I was actually trying to get to see if anyone's thrown in any questions at all. I've got an okay from someone from India, but that's okay. We say hello and okay to anyone going around. Good story. Stacey, I was going through all the T's, they were in my mind too, but so she's very passionate, and I think she does a great job. Herself and Mark Lee quite often contribute to the show, and I think well done to her on the weekend, that's for sure, last week. But she's a very accomplished horse person in her own right, so she's won plenty of good races, but clearly that race meant a lot to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
It did indeed. All right, the rest of the week, mate, how's it been for you?
Plenty of miles. Went to had Ballarat Dogs Saturday night into Oyen Trots on Sunday for Trots Vision. Now, I thought I'd done a few miles, but I think Luke Humphries did a bit more than me. So I think I was at least I was able to have a sleep in Donald, which was good. I don't know where he slept, but he was had a long drive as well. But plenty of miles, but all good fun.
No, it was indeed, and well done to the Oyen Club. They put on a great day. They had Robert Di Domenico there. It was interesting how they come to get him, but hats off to how he, I suppose, performed, how he acted.
Yeah, absolutely.
He got into everything, didn't he?
He did. I mean, it's not like he was there and he was on the cans and stuff like that. He was there. He was there for the club. With whatever they wanted, and he was brilliant. I'm not sure who the lass was that was with him, but she was having a great time too, enjoying the atmosphere and everything of the races. So it was really good. It was great to get back there to the races at Oyen. I hadn't been there for 20-something years. That's a long time since I've been to the races there. I mean, it hasn't changed a great deal, but the grounds were in great condition. The grass and the lawns were immaculate. and the track was really good. The racing was and the racing was competitive. I mean, we saw handlebars down in one race, which was just
And
crazy speed, and then it was a great cup as well.
but that race in question, they ran first and fourth.
Fourth, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I thought it was first and second, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, like they ran a 27 first quarter, but both horses were still there at the finish. They both knew how important it was to, first and fourth. And he only got beat, that we talk of Blamey Bob, only got beat 1.2 metres. Like it wasn't like he was a distant fourth either. He only just got done that. Glam Rock, Alan Tormey and Scott Garraway, congratulations to those guys, and Blamey Bob. One thing that was really good for Trots Vision, Daniel, wasn't it? Getting to see some different people, getting to interview some different people. We had them on footage. Some of the trainers were there. Aaron Crode, he came on for us. Reese Moore didn't come on, but he wanted to. And Naomi Kerr, we didn't get to see her either. But we had quite a few. Luke Watson was on the show. We had Pud, Donald, and there's some great scenes. We said there before. Time on it. Some of the great things harness racing do. We raise awareness, like we do with pacing for pinks and those things. Memorial races. And what we're able to achieve with memorial races and the likes, and the scenes after Gobsmacked won the Les Patching Memorial. We had Noel McNulty in tears. We had Darren Carroll. Well, he reckons he wasn't in tears. He reckons he had it all under control. I beg to differ. I think he was gone for all money. I think he was a spent force.
Well, he was worse at Wedderburn. I mean, he held it together pretty well on Sunday. He was just a wreck at Wedderburn after winning the Trotters Cup there. But yeah, it was great to have them all out in the track. They had a pretty rough day, the family, but it was great to see Gobsmacked win, and we mentioned it on during the coverage that he was pretty well supported, fixed odds wise. There was plenty of backing for him. He was sort of down in class a little bit on what he'd been racing against, and I mean it was a super drive from Declan Murphy. I mean he summed it up really well. He knew he was probably on the best horse in the race, and in the end he was able to sit parked and still prove too good. So it was on many levels it was a great race.
He actually said, I got a lot of instructions. I think Shawnee laid the law down pretty heavily to him in the race. And then actually the Greg's Electrical Oyen Pacey Cup taken out by Shane and Ryan Sanderson for the second year running Equity Stride. She's not an overly long straight Oyen, but I think it was long enough for Ryan at the top of the lane. I think he was in all sorts.
Well, Shane sort of came past me after the race, and like he was just, I think he was more relieved than anything, because he said the horse is just, he's got a ton of ability, but he has got a mind of his own, and when he doesn't want to do something, he pretty well says, I'm not doing it. And he sort of kicked away, and he thought, well, here we go, it's all over. He's going to win comfortably. But by the time they turned for home, he'd nearly knocked off, and in the end, he's only just scrambled home. And Strato Fortress was a great run there in second to nearly pinch it, and Pocket the Deal, who he was really heavily backed from the pole. I think the talk before the race was that he was going to try and lead, and when that didn't sort of pan out, it was probably the best spot to be, but just couldn't run over the top of the leader and the Death Seed horse in the end. But it was a good race. 159 was the rate, and really they probably don't really go too much quicker than that around A. And I know the track record's a bit faster, but it's still good time.
No, it is indeed. We've got Alexander Hurley. She's on again. If anyone can get the trots up and going in India, Paul, it's you. I think my video that I did with B. Little and Marie going only 7-second video, it's up to something like 48 million views, and the vast majority of those are in India. I think we could definitely get racing going in India if we wanted to. There's no problems there. But the other one, Alex, I'm not sure what that means. Tickets in the Punters Club were $9.99. I don't understand that one. Nothing.
No,
I'm not missing the obvious, am I?
I don't think so, but either that or we're both dumb.
Yeah, we both might be dumb, so that's okay. It's all right. Alex will fill us in. She'll keep us posted. There is no worries there. Uchuka Pacing Cup. I saw Pam Hocking. You Demon supporters aren't bad, but yeah, she went from Uchuka, I think, to Queensland to watch the Demons win up there, and she was pretty cock-a-hoop. But 2 cups in 5 days. It's a good week.
It is good work. I mean, it was slightly disappointing, I guess, that the field was only 6 in it. You know, it was 3 Julie Douglas and 3 Emma Stewart horses in the race, and I mean, it was a pretty pedestrian 63 first half, and they rip home. So I mean, you know, we get in that old adage again. It was a pretty mundane sort of race, and I don't know don't really know what the answer is at the moment. I think we seem to be struggling with the open class horses, and at the moment there's a lot of the good races for the more elite sort of horses are on, and then the next level down just doesn't seem to have the not so much the depth, but the numbers on the ground at the moment. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, it's proving that, you know, this is the start of the season, and, you know, normally the cups are sort of, you know, 5-6 months in, whereas at the moment they've been sort of, you know, the first 3 months of the year. So it's, with all the calendar change and everything like that, maybe it's not proving beneficial for the cups, with all of the Vicbred races at the end of the year. I'd love to know what a solution would be, and I know people say, "Oh, bring back stands" and that sort of stuff. I don't think the stands are the answer in this situation. I think it's more of a programming situation where we've got seem to have crammed in a lot of cup races and good races into a small window against the top Group 1 races, and I don't think it's really working all that well.
My concerns with it was so what are we now? Probably, so yeah, it was, I'll go 2.5 weeks. That was a little bit longer than that, actually, because it was a Trotters Cup. But we had Charlton Cup 2 weeks ago. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes. Charlton Cup 2 weeks ago. Then we had the Echuca Cup on the Friday. Oyen Cup on the Sunday. We're sort of dragging from that same pool of horses. So
yeah,
you've got Charlton, Oyen, and Echuca, which would nearly, you know, most trainers that go to one of those tracks go to all of those tracks, and they're pulling from that. Then you've got Tasmania, which took quite a deal of the better horses on over
ones,
there.
Yeah.
But you also take the likes of Alex Ashwood out of that equation as well. So Michael Stanley was over there as well. So I think, you know, potentially maybe they should have thrown a Warragul Cup on. If they'd have thrown the Warragul Cup in the mix there somewhere, Charlton, Oyen, something a little bit different. Yarra Glen, one of those, maybe. So the programming, it might actually just be the area, if you know what I mean. Like, instead of dragging them all from the one pool, because it just, I couldn't believe Charlton Cup was, Echuca Cup was 5 days after the Charlton Cup, or 6 days after the Charlton Cup, and then you roll into that 3 days later, you got the Oyen Cup. It does get a little bit, it doesn't get messy. It's all over the shot. So yeah.
And I mean, you've got the Mildura Cup coming up, and it's
in 2
obviously
weeks.
it's a heat and final series. So I mean, it's concerning to think how many they might get in the heats. I know there's probably a few that'll, you know, make the trip up there, and you know, it's their, I guess it's a bit of a time to get away and, you know, have a week away from the south and go up there, and, you know, the noms might be pretty good for it. But if it isn't, I mean, if they can't get a good field for that race, then I don't know there's some serious questions got to be asked, because it's not beneficial for the clubs to have country cups that aren't A, good races, and B, have decent field size. Clubs won't want to be having their cups with 6 horses in it, and not being able to attract any decent turnover or crowds or, you know, patrons on course. If you've got a 6-horse field, it doesn't entice many people, general public people, to want to go.
The interesting part, though, Daniel, too, was that probably the best, evenest cup proved to be Oyen on the weekend, the third of those 3.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. It's sort of funny. Bort was in the same boat. Bort was a very, very competitive cup. And yep, I agree, stands may or may not be the solution, but if 1 or 2 of those races were a stand, you potentially attract a different style of horse. Like, you know, Mick Stanley and those guys, 8 or 9 horses went across to Tasmania to contest in the stands. So there is still that argument, but they can't do it the way they're doing it. I'm not going to sit here and say, yep, we can get away with it the way we're going. That's ridiculous.
I just don't think that there's just not the horses there. There's just not the depth of horses there. And again, I don't know what the I don't know what the cause is. I don't know what the answer is. But it's proving it's we got what we wanted in a way with the changing of the calendar, and we made the Vic Bred series, the futurity races there at the end of December, because that's what we wanted. We wanted to attract the people back to the races to watch those good races, and the Breeders' Crown got shifted back as well. But as a result of all of that, we may have sort of, kicked ourselves in the bum a bit with our Country Cup circuit. It might have been the flip side of it might have been that we've damaged that. And I don't know, there has to be something. It has to be discussed and it has to be brought up, because it's not going to. I don't think it's going to solve itself.
No, I don't think so, and I don't think you and I are going to solve it here tonight. That is for sure. But we might. We never know. We can do quite a few.
Someone
things.
out there might comment, and we have a brainwave and have a magic solution.
Yeah, I was just actually looking through. So this weekend's a no race meeting, and then the following weekend, I don't think. Well, there's no way known it's the Charlton Cup, the Cranbourne Cup's on the Sunday night, so they don't have. They've got the Bendigo Trotters Cup next week, but they don't have a cup next week at all, which seems odd to say the least. Then you've got Warragul and Echuca as well, so it won't be, or might be the Warragul Cup on that weekend.
They generally race their cup at Easter, Warragul, as far as I can remember.
Which date is when it is. Sunday the 17th of April. So that's the next cup is just coming up on the 17th of April. So, yeah, look, they possibly could have worked around it and gone from there. Alex Hurley has cut back to me. I shouldn't call her Alex, it's Alexandra. Hurley's got back to me. Dipper's reference to everything at Dimmy's was $9.99. Yeah. He was terrific, though. We'll get back to that. Yeah. What the OU did is they basically reached out for a celebrity, and then if the celebrities were interested, they'd get back to him. Yeah. So he rocked up. He rocked up the night before, and he went out for tea with all the club, and I think they were out till about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock the night before. I know Sunday night they were still going at 2 a.m, so there was a few sore heads, and Dipper was there, but he didn't have a drink the whole day, did he? Until the last race was on, he said, no, I'm here to help you promote your club, so I'm not here to get drunk. So so he was absolutely terrific.
I'm not sure the site that they go through or how that all plays out, but basically, they write their plan of what the event that they've got on, and obviously there's a group of celebrity people that are involved in this group, and they all get to read the letter and the plan, and say they can decide, yep, I'm interested in that, and get in touch with the club, or knock it on the head, whatever the case may be. And obviously Dipper decided to come up, and he was great. He was really great for the event up there.
Andrea O'Gorman's got to me from Charlton, and she said that they had a $13,000 3-year-old race on Charlton Cup Day, and it nearly fell over. Ran with 6 horses, which is disappointing for the locals putting their money in. Totally agree, and that frustrates and fascinates and frustrates me, that one. People say, they get on their mark too quick and all the rest. There's a $13,000 3-year-old that's at the begging of horses. Get on your mark. Wait till you race at the end of the year, and you're still racing for $8,000 and $9,000. I definitely don't understand that one. I'm on, and that's one of the odd things. If they'd have put a $4,500 3-year-old on, they would have got 8 horses in it. Yeah. And everyone would have said, the prize money's no good, but they still would have got eight horses in it. It's ridiculous.
And so that was the other thing too, that with the horse I'm involved in, Faces Phoenix, he's entered for a race. He obviously ran second in the Group 1 a couple of weeks ago. He's entered for a race at Yarra Valley on Monday, which is a 3-year-old, but it's got a restriction on it that you can't have won more than one race. But going forward, there's only about 2 or 3 3-year-old trot races programmed in Victoria.
Yep.
So that's another issue. Is that sort of thing as well? The races that are programmed, are they catering for what's around at the moment? And I don't know whether they are or they're not. But from my point of view, I can certainly say that it's not. But there's obviously clubs are putting on these bigger prize money races and not being able to get horses, and there has to be some sort of issue that needs to be looked at.
I find it frustrating too with those sorts of races. We all contested the homegrown, and then you go 2 weeks and there's no races for the horses that have won. The horses that have won it. There's no other way for them to go. So you basically got to tip them out.
Well, that was it. Like we'd sort of we looked at the program after he'd run second. If he'd have won the Group 1, he wouldn't have been eligible for this race. And basically, if we wanted to run him, he'd have to go to New South Wales, because New South Wales have got the Foundation 3-year-old trot series on, and they're the only races available for him. So it's strange, very strange. It as I say, the calendar, we got what we wanted with the calendar, with the change of season starting at December, January, but it might be not all that it's made out to be, I think.
Oh, I think there's always chinks in things, and people will work their way through it, and it might be a matter of changing up the cups and how they do the cups, or go from there. So yeah, it's definitely. I
think that's probably the big thing. I think the cups is probably going to be the.
I find it fascinating. There's only one cup in the month of April, so I know Easter's on that, but it just seems odd that
But all the cups have sort of been run. Have been crammed in between January and March.
Sorry, that's got to be a lie, because I mustn't have looked at that properly, because Mildura's on. So there must be 2 cups.
They're after Easter. They're the week after Easter.
Yeah, but they'd be still in April, I think, wouldn't
they? Yeah, middle of April. Yeah, towards.
Yeah, so I've missed Mildura, but they've actually changed their dates on Mildura. I think that's why I missed them, because I don't think they're racing on the Saturday night.
I think cramming all the cups, and not so much, probably not so much the big ones like the Ballarat, Bendigo, and Shep Cup seem to work okay at the moment, but just that rung underneath of it just seems to be. Those sort of cups just seem to be struggling a little bit at the moment, and maybe that we need to think about shifting them around a little bit. And I know no one probably wants to race their cup during the winter, but maybe they need to push some of them back to the spring. Yeah.
Anyway, they'll work it out. It'll be fine. Yeah. But well done to Charlton as well for having a bit of fun, and Andrea Gorman, she was would have been in her element, because Charlton had a fair day out at Oyen, that's for sure. So Alan Tormey, Ryan Sanderson, there was a couple of others that won on the day. So yep, they would have been the Charlton Knights would have been having an absolute ball, that's for sure. So just on what Andrea said there is a $14,000 Mildura Guineas on Mildura Cup night. So that will be interesting as to how many horses that can attract, because that's basically the same class of horses. So yeah.
So race 3 at Bendigo, they've had 2 false starts and they're about 10 minutes late here. So they're having a great night at Bendigo.
I've been refreshing my computer. I'm like, what's going on with this race? Where is it?
Yeah, so they've had 2 false starts now. The Murtai Kai has galloped again. Round Innes, Alan Tormey's galloped off the second row. It hasn't it's trotting now, but it hasn't interfered with anything. Millie's just galloped at the start. It was in barrier 2, and the green light came up. So they're finally racing here at Bendigo, but it was they've had a pretty tough 10 minutes trying to get that race started.
They actually, Murtai K is in 2 in the second row, and Millie, so they've probably just the 2 liners just galloped in the right order this time. If
Murtai hadn't galloped, there would have been another false start.
And it's no good at all that. Just on Grand Innes, Carla Innes too, Zarem. Terrific scenes afterwards at Echuca the other night too. So well done to everyone involved there as well.
Yeah, good win. Certainly deserved. Been very consistent, and deserved to get a country cup on the mantelpiece. That's for sure.
Peter Ramiro, good evening to you, Pete, as well. So good to see you back on. We haven't been on for a week or two, so we do well and truly say that. Got to look after some of my sponsors, and it's a bit late to get your apparel from the safety specialists, Daniel, before the yearling sales. But don't forget, if you've got your racing gear and all the rest, you get hold of Darren on 0400 309 902, Big Daz, and he will look after you. Not a worry there in the world leading into it. He actually owns Claudie's Princess, whose foal is going through the yearling sale. So they will be a little bit toey. There's no worries there at all. And yeah, rightfully so. I've seen that horse. I saw it. I've done video work and all the rest. Lovely, lovely little type. So Yeah, good luck to Daz and everyone else. He hasn't got down on that knee yet. He's worried that once he gets down there, he won't get back up. He's and it's a serious concern.
A long way down.
Yep,
It's a long way down.
Yeah, he reckons it's a serious concern for him. But anyway, that'll be fine. I saw Kelly got a winner the other day at Stall too, which actually was probably 2 weeks ago. So well done to those guys. As I said, I just like promoting people. I'm not sure what this one will be. It's only that NZB. They do Gavel House. Interesting little Gavel House auction going on at the minute. Goes through till 7 o'clock New Zealand time tomorrow. It's actually got, I think, 7 horses. One of the trainers over there is restocking. So they've had 7 horses. I think 3 of them won last week. And 5 or 6 of them are racing tomorrow night before the auction closes. So keep an eye on that. Go to the Gavel House forum. Just go to the NZB Standardbreds and follow the links to the Gavel House forum and get in there. But I think actually I can bring it up. Cam said that there was 4 or 5 that were racing tomorrow night. I'll double check that. But that's pretty cool. It's a different way of doing things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is absolutely. And to have them sort of racing, it's pretty much like a ready to run sale.
It's Michael House. So yeah, most of the racehorses are going around tomorrow night before the sale finishes. So it's pretty key. I thought he gave me a number, but he didn't give me a number. But yeah, so it's pretty cool, that part of it, I must say. So something a little bit differently going in there. So we've got Philip Wood on there. It said it's okay. I'm not even going to worry about that going forward. So Philip Wood's there. We won't. We'll keep going here for a minute. Pacing for Pink, Daniel. Obviously Stacey got involved in it there before, but we want everyone to sign up, get a sponsor. Contact Marg Watson on 0409 401 189. Great cause, and Mother's Day, we will be there.
I hope so. I haven't got the roster out for May yet, but I know April's chock full of calling. But hopefully I'm not working that Sunday. I doubt that I would be.
I actually suggested to Stace that Glenn McGrath might help us do the auction, and I don't think she was all that keen on that idea. I think she thought that was one of Paul's silly ideas, but that's okay. Yabby Dam Farms, of course. Yabby Dam Farms. I'm just going through all my slides, Daniel. If you wonder what I'm doing.
You're right. I was just watching they finally finished that race at Bendigo, which was good.
All right, I'll let you get back to that. You can do that in a sec. Yabby Dam Farms, pleased to announce a travel rebate for any yearlings going to the yearling sales. Yabby Dam Farm yearling purchase at the Nutrien Equine 2022 yearling sale, where the yearling is exported to New Zealand within 60 days following the Nutrien sale. So you've got a little bit of time. You've got 2 months to go. $500 per $10,000 spent. So obviously if you spend $100, you'll get a $5,000 rebate. It is capped at the $5,000, but terrific offer for any of the Kiwi friends looking to buy horses going into next year's sale. We're not going to go on the upcoming, Daniel, because that has not been updated. I wasn't that good at any of that. And I think that's just about most of it, except for the fact, actually, there should be another one. There it is, there. The Nutrien sale is, of course, on this Sunday, and there is plenty going on there with it. The Nutrien Equine Melbourne yearling sale starts on the 3rd of April at 11 o'clock. That is actually the sale. Online parade will be on at 1 o'clock on the Saturday. Streamed live, myself and pretty much all my family are chipping in. We'll get that up and out. Starts at 1, then afterwards people are encouraged to hang around and have a few drinks, but also go back and inspect some of the yearlings. So a little bit of fun. I'm looking forward to it, I must say. It's been pretty busy, but it's been a lot of fun.
I'm really looking forward to that Nutrien sale. It'll be, I think there's some coverage on RSN as well. I think Gareth Hall's doing a
10:30
cross there.
10:30 on Friday. So
that'll boost it even more. I think they did the same thing last year with the sales day there too. So it's building nicely to what's a big sale there on Sunday.
Perhaps before you go into that that race that just was run, the next race at Bendigo, I'm going to give a big shout out to Dean and Blanche Poole. They've got what did we say it was? Andaman,
I think you'll call it Andaman.
It's
Andaman Bay.
It's a play on a few words, isn't it? Andaman Bay, who's out of Slip Slop Slap. They actually had a filly in the sale out of Slip Slop Slap by Captain Treacherous. This horse is by Some Beach Somewhere, so it's actually 3/4. Unfortunately, they had to pull theirs out of the sale, so it won't be going through the sale. But yeah, there'll be all eyes on this one. I'm sure Dean and Blanche, busy week. They've got a lot on their plate, but I reckon they'll be sitting at Bendigo right now ready for that. That's due to run because of the false starts in about 10 minutes, and we haven't even capped off on the race before, Daniel. Who won the race before, mate?
Well, it was the 3-year-old older maiden trot. It was owned by heir apparent for Ken Tippett, or as he's called it, Menangle Ken Tippier. I don't think the race caller had any idea who he was. He called him Tippier.
He's going worse than me to pay.
I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah, Ken Tippett just got home. It beat My Jerry, who got up on the inside for Nicole Lear and Jaden Bruin. It's only gone down by half a head, and a cool investment for Ron Combin, and Chris Alford was third.
Very, very good. I don't know.
That 2-year-old pace coming up soon. It's a good race. There's 6 of them having their first start. I've called Raw with Girl for Rod Lakey. Nathan Jack takes the drive. It has gone Raw with Girl, I should say, has gone very nicely at the trials at Shep previously. So I think it will run okay from what I've seen. Haven't seen any of the other ones though, I must say.
Lauriston Bloodstock bred horse, so we might be still on air. Who knows with you and I? We get there or we don't. That race just before, Daniel, is part of the VSTA's. I better get it right, otherwise I'll get myself in trouble. Oh, that's a VHRC. Sorry, they've got another race on tonight. The VSTA have got, maybe I haven't, but Saturday night they have got the VSTA Memorial for the Colin Redwood final. That race has been drawn to. They actually have their dinner on this weekend. I reached out to them. They reached out to me last week and I said, I'll promote it for you tonight. Apparently it's closed. I reckon if you want to go, just ring up. Just the number's there. I won't get in trouble for saying the number. The number's there on the screen. Just ring up. Just give Emma a hard time if you like. And just say Paul said we could just ring and go from there. So I think you could still possibly get a ticket. But going to be a gala night and it's a good night of racing on Saturday night for everyone concerned, mate.
It is. Yeah, it is a good night. And that race, I'm just having a quick look. There's no markets on there. But looking at it, I would think that Love Gun's going to be really hard to beat, particularly because it's off the front. It was really good win the other day. That was at Bendigo, won very comfortably. In fact, it's won its last 3. Always shown a fair amount of ability, but not always putting it on the track. But its last 3 runs have been super. And again, if it steps away like it has been, it's going to be hard to beat, I would think, in that race.
You throw me under the bus a little bit, mate, but I'm getting there. Hang on a sec. Right, now we've got it up, so you can, so we've got all the runners there. It is good. I was at Monty Burnett's the other day, and she was pretty happy with One Muscle Hill when I was talking to her again today. Unfortunately, she's had to remove one from the sale. And she was very happy today. She was a lot happier after the sale, that's for sure. After the race, Monty was. So yeah, it is good, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there to try and win that. James Herbertson doesn't have a drive. He's actually one of the inductees, or already one of the winners. Shake and Make a Classic is on as well. Daniel, it's hard these 2-year-olds this time of year, but bit of exposed form there, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, Petrarca's certainly been the glamour horse, I guess you could say, from the first couple of races that he's had in that trial that he's also had. Good heat winner there at Bathurst, and he was really good in the final of the Crown as well, running third. So small field, you'd think he's going to be pretty hard to beat in that race. Mr. Hunter's had one start for a victory. That was at Ballarat. He went 158. So not a bad start to its career. And Captain Foxtrot for Peter Manning was up at ran third in a heat of the Crown and then ran 4th in the Consolation. So it hasn't been too far away either. But certainly Petrarca's got one that is one that's got a fair bit of a following already.
Absolutely. Lee Sutton just logged in. Congratulations, Lee Sutton, driving 800 winners. So good to see him there on there as well. 70 to 84, and then the big screen company post. Saw an interesting thing today on Twitter. Mike,
yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Sky, the trots on screen were being bumped to Sky 2 on Sky Channel. So while the race was on the on-screen, big screen TV was on Sky One. So yeah, they were actually showing showcasing.
Their advertised race wasn't being shown on their advertised product.
It was. I don't get that. Surely, anyway. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
I make plenty of them, but it just did seem a little bit funny, that one. That's for
Well,
sure.
that conversation that was on Twitter was actually pretty pertinent. I think there's a lot of issues, and that patrons, I guess, we're all wanting to get back. A lot of people want to get back to the track, and it just seemed that it was not. It's just a lot of things need to be sorted out. Basically, won't get into the nuts and bolts of it, but a lot of things need to be sorted out to suit patrons a bit more.
Grandstand coverage is number one.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. I don't know how they can expect people to be able to go there.
Yeah.
The Nutrient Pace on Saturday night, of course, is a race-free day on the Sunday, so I'll make sure I give that a mention. Cocoa, bred by Durham Park, they've got 5 horses going through the sale, so good luck to those guys. But good little lot of horses. Sweet Louise, inside second line. Good luck with that one, Daniel.
Yeah, race for the mares. It's 67 to 89. This is a tricky sort of group of mares, and Cocoa at a best you'd think would win it. Certainly, Eva Mateo's been racing super consistent, but she's drawn 7, which certainly doesn't suit her. And Sweet Louise on the inside, I don't think that sort of would suit her too well. But look, it's a nice race there for the mares on Saturday night.
Yeah, rocking with Sierra as well, and even So What, if she could get back to that form she was in probably about 3-4 months ago, she'd be a real big chance as well.
I think a lot of those mares with the right sort of trip could certainly win without surprising, but they need that right trip.
It's a South Australian tribute night on Saturday night with the Uncle Patrica. That was Lance's horse, I believe. I reckon I'm right. Uncle Patrica. Group 3, free for all trots. Sorry, Chinese Whispers finally done the right thing by patrons or punters last week. And you and I were both commenting on about a stable informed David Jack and Moreton Bay from the pole. He'll liven this race up, that's for sure.
He's a good horse. He's a really nice horse. He's racing way out of his grade here. He's a 67 rater, and he's been thrown into the 80 to 120. So if David's doing that, he's got a very high opinion of the horse. And also too, as we've sort of mentioned previously, that with the way the rating system is, you can do this to make sure that you draw a decent gate. And I think it'll suit him down to the ground, drawing barrier 1. If he gets out and runs along and leads, he can run his own race, and he'll be certainly very competitive. Can he win it? It's a big ask for him to first crack at some of these horses when you're looking at an Always Ready and a hardened Sundon's Courage, Temporale and Chinese Whisper, who's as we said finally found form. But you wouldn't put it past him. Would not put it past him at all.
No, I totally agree with that. I was just having a quick look at the rest of the meetings around the place, and there's not a lot on. It's not a star-studded weekend of harness racing by any stretch. I better be careful because I reckon my friends in Tasmania actually have some good races. That's on the Sunday though, but I think they've got some nice races in on that card. No, I might be wrong there too. So it's an interesting little race. It gets back to my point. We had 3 country cups within 200 kilometres of each other, and nothing the next week. But I know from the Nutrients hat point of view, they didn't want any racing on the Sunday, but maybe the Echuca Cup might have filled in a little bit better this week. I don't know. It's one of those interesting ones, I think, Daniel.
It is. I mean, and that's the trick. I mean, we're not planning. The calendar's not planned. I guess clubs know what meetings they've got, but in terms of race programming, it's sort of done until a fair bit later down the track. So it's often hard to sort of program or plan your race program for your horse if the calendar's not done.
There's 2 things. I'm a little bit OCD about certain things. The race 5, I'll see if I can find it while we're doing it. Race 5 at Tasmania. Oh, I've got to do this. Okay. Is the Neil Cameron Devonport Patrons Marathon over 2,700 metres or 2 metres shy of that for 70 or better standing start. Looking at it, once you get above 75 by the looks, you come off the 10 metres. Isn't that great? Like, that's just something different. Full field of 14 horses. Daniel's still wondering what the little thing that I've found that's tickled my fancy. Have a look at the Yole runners. Every second runner.
Yeah,
I'm like, serious? How did they work that part out?
And they've all drawn the odd barriers.
Yeah. It was like I said, it was just one of those ones. I saw it and I was like,
You go the old TAB odds and evens bet. Well, it's either Yole or not.
It's obviously the first one's trained by Mark and then the rest are trained by Ben. But it's just it was a little bit comical. I was like,
that's a bit freaky that it's happened like that.
Maybe one of the betting agencies might be ready to go with that. It probably spice that race up. You can bet Yoles or bet the evens, and go from there. So. No, they've got a good couple of meetings coming up in Tasmania. But, I mean, Tasmania is a different beast, I suppose, to what we have over here. I mean, Ben Yole and the Yoles have got a huge amount of horses, but they race for good money over there. And they have plenty of horses going around. So it works pretty well in Tassie, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're going not too bad. I think there's... obviously, Devonport going by the wayside sort of impacts them a little bit, but still good racing at Hobart and Lonnie.
What actually happened there?
Devonport.
Yep.
I think this agricultural society decided to sell the land.
Oh, yep.
I don't think they were supposed to. Well, I think the land was bequeathed to the agricultural society, and I think that's been decided to sell. I need clarification on that, but I think that's what happened.
So I say in our intro, we'll talk trots and other stuff. Bequeath. Where'd that word come from?
Whatever. Anyway, don't worry. Move on.
It's a big word. 2-year-old. What's the tote odds in the 2-year-old coming up, mate?
You've thrown me under the bus, but I can bring that up very quickly.
Surely you weren't ready for me.
No, I've already been run over. I got run over by the bus on the weekend, so...
I didn't do anything of the sorts. It was a bit of fun. I enjoyed it, and it was good. It was good.
Well, it wasn't so... Well, that was... Yeah, I got run over at OU, but Ballarat on Saturday night, terrible technical difficulties down there, just very frustrating set of circumstances down there. Essentially, what I had to do, I had a headset on so I could have the mic for RSN, but I couldn't connect to Sky Channel. So effectively, I had two headsets on with two mics. One was around my ears, the other one was around my neck, just so I could talk to Sky Channel. So it looked horrible, but it was the only way I could talk. The 2-year-old, wow. Yeah, it's $4 the field.
$4 a field.
$4 the field. The favourite, Andaman Bay is the favourite at $4. Doug's Platters at $4.20. Soho Charlie's at $4.40. Heathburn Bruce's at $4.60. Aussie Larrikins at $7. Rawworth Girls at $7.50, and then the other two are double figures. Paradise Valley's at $23 and Levada Gold's at $61. So the top 6 in the market, basically the top 4 in the market are separated by about 60 cents.
Wow, that's going to be an interesting little race. We will keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
I was going to say we were just going to wrap it up, Daniel, but very quickly we'll just recap on, not recap, Philip Wood is joined in, and Philip's a regular contributor and I suppose gives me a lot of information from time to time on things going forward. The Mount Gambia Cup, Philip's very, very proud. He lives in Mount Gambia and he's very proud of it. That meeting is on this week. Firstly, I'm actually going to talk about the 2022 TAB Mount Gambia Pacing Cup, which is not your traditional Mount Gambia Pacing Cup to what we're used to. This one is a 70 or better, but being restricted to horses trained in South Australia, Daniel.
Didn't it used to be heats and a final?
Yeah, it was this year, but that's a different race. That's where this has got confusing. Yeah. So this race is part of the Cup series that they've got going in South Australia, and horses accumulate points to partake in the South Australian Pacing Cup, which is on shortly, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, look, when the noms came out for this, there was a bit of feedback through the social media channels that they were really struggling for nominations. But, to be fair, I mean, I think the idea that was brought in by SA to really help out the local product, I don't know whether it's really worked for Mount Gambier, because they are a fair trip from Adelaide, and they rely on the border horses to come across, and to not be able to have a number of those border horses or Victorian horses compete in the Cup has probably been detrimental to the rest of the meeting in some respects, because they were, the Mount Gambier Cup traditionally has been a really good race, and for that sort of particular class of horse that would go across from Victoria and run in it. Yep. And the regulations that were in for this year, or for those races, and the Derby, and which I don't even think I don't know whether the Derby even got off, did it?
Nope.
No, it didn't. So there was restrictions on the 3-year-old and the Gold Cup and the Pacing Cup, and I mean, it just, yes, it was it was there for to help the South Australian participants, but Mount Gambier relies so much on Victoria that it really defeated the purpose, I would have thought. So as we mentioned, with the Birchip meeting on Labor Day, with the races that they had programmed, where the restrictions were on dollars, so they struggled to get horses eligible to race in the series. Mount Gambier has been similar, with a different sort of rule, but had the same sort of outcome. So, I feel for South Australia, the harness racing over there at the moment, because they are really, really struggling. Like, it's not, there's so much not going right for them at the moment, but this has just not worked like they probably thought it might. It's really hurt Mount Gambier, and I feel sorry for them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think the one thing you and I were both saying then, because the rest of the card are $4,500 races, there's no way Victorians are going to go across there to just race in $4,500 races. No. So you've got your Mount Gambier Pacing Cup that is obviously restricted to horses that have got to be trained in South Australia so they can contest that race. It's a good race. There's no problems. That race, yeah, it's worked for that one individual race. And then you have the Matthews Petroleum Mount Gambier Gold Cup, which is the traditional. So it was meant to be heats. Unfortunately, they only got enough for one heat. So it's heat and final, not heats and final. And I presume 2 horses must have dead heated, is my take on it.
I think that might have been what happened, yeah.
But anyway, because there's 9 horses in it and there's only up to 8, it looks like 2 horses ran 5th, so which is an interesting one in itself. It's an okay field. There's no problems there. Greg Schofield, don't need an excuse. He's taken it here to Victoria. It's quite a quality horse, and the likes. But the rest of the meeting has been so badly jeopardised. I went there last year with Toby McKinnon. We had an absolute ball. It was a ripping night, a lot of fun. And that's probably the one thing that they risk doing is, bastardising these meetings by restricting the better races to South Australian trained horses. The Victorians aren't going to come, not for $4,500.
No, that's it, and that's exact. It's just, same as what happened at Birchip, with in a different sense of the restrictions on the races. If a stable's got say they've got 8 horses in their stable and they're all sort of between that 50 and say 40 and 70 rating, where there's plenty of those races eligible, but then they whack on you must have had earned less than $5,000, and all of a sudden they've only got 2 horses that are eligible. Well, they might not go, and it's, those restrictions are okay in certain circumstances, but when they're big meetings for the club, and I mean they're only little clubs, it's just it's not. Restricting horses to go to those meetings just doesn't help anyone.
No, totally agree. Anyway, just hang on one sec. Emily Hinch, horse stood down in heat of the Gold Cup.
There you go.
But there's 2 5s, Em. I'm not going to disagree with you, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 2 horses on 5. 6.
Lizzie's had another start somewhere.
7. Right, Sea Rover and Springfield Fair. Let's see. I'll just quickly go back to it. How do I do it? I worked out how to do it there before. Just have a quick look at the... So it was won by Royal Speech, Don't Need an Excuse, Better Steam Ahead ran third, Terror the Christian ran fourth, then we've got Springfield Affair ran fifth. Okay. So what horse did I say, Daniel?
Sea Rover.
Sea Rovers here is running seventh. So that must be a mistake in there.
I've got on Sea Rovers result, he ran fifth. On his performance record, he's run fifth.
And yet on the official records, he's ran seventh and been beaten 54.6 metres.
So hang on. Sorry. I've got there's Sea Rover and there's Sea Lover.
Sea Lover, yep.
I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. So Sea Lover finished seventh. Why have we got Springfield Affair?
Philip Wood's telling me that one horse raced at Hamilton since. So there's a horse
that probably would be why.
Yep, I would say so. So yeah, so it was just an interesting one that when myself and Daniel were looking at them there before. Sea Lover, Sea Rover.
Anyway.
Yep, Springfield Affair did run fifth. Yep, so that makes it all the better. So yeah, but anyway, as I said, I think we're all in agreement. We want it to be big meetings and attract a lot of attention. I know Tobes is going to be going there, and it'll be streamed live, so that'll be good. I believe I'm not exactly sure. Philip Wood, I'll give you the quick hurry up, but if I'm not exactly sure of where that's being streamed to, so Philip may not know, but I'll throw him under the bus. Daniel, how's that sound? I might be able to.
You do that a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've got some explanation. Rightio, Emily Hinch has got back to me. So, you're right, Sea Rover and Sea Lover, because when you said that, I'm like, Daniel, you typed... I was like, you typed in the wrong...
I made it worse. I was making it worse.
So, Sea Rover was an emergency for the heat and didn't get a run. The last horse driven by David Jury in the heat was stood down, and hence Sea Rover, who's got one of the fifths against its name, gets into the field. So it took a little bit of explaining, but thank you very much, Emily. It makes so much more sense now. So yeah, so when people are doing their form and they're like, how does this work? One heat, same amount of horses, and go from there. So it's being streamed in South Australia to Facebook, Philip, or just a website. We'll just see if Philip gets back to me. I'll give him a second. You know what he's doing, don't you? He's cursing under his breath. That'll be for sure.
Yeah, probably.
Well, you got to keep them on the hop. We'll you see how you go. So actually, I won't ring him because he might not know the answer. So he'll tell me off if I did that. So it'll be fine. I could have rang him, but no, I won't do that. All right, mate. Who won the 2-year-old?
So the 2-year-old was won by Julie Douglas and Jack Law with Heathburn Bruce.
Right.
Who just won. Now Heathburn Bruce won by about 1.5 meters. The Jeff Webster pair ran second. Doug's Platter ran second. Anderman ran third. They went 158.1, 29.7, 31.5, 28.7, 28.1. Heathburn Bruce is by Lenny the Shark out of Lorimer Jane. And I'm just bringing up Lorimer Jane. Had 14 starts as a race mare for 2 minor placings only. And
I suspect it's related to not a lot. Laura McKiley that had 19 starts for 1 win, and Caruso Star that had 20 starts for 2 wins. So and it looks like they may have purchased that horse too. So well done the connections. Anyway, Lenny the Shark though, that's a great result for Lenny. So it's all good. So rightio. So it's going to be on Facebook, SA by the looks Facebook page, so which will be really, really good. Emily, thank you very much for your help. I really appreciate that. And Philip Wood, thank you. We got to the bottom of that, which makes it a lot easier for people out there to understand. So we probably could have done our homework a bit better, Daniel.
Well, we were just on the fly as we normally try to do with the show. But
I was organised. Someone else was like, where are you? So, yeah. So, anyway. All right. Thank you very much, everyone that's joined us. I can get us out of this screen, actually, Daniel. I've got us on that other tote screen so we can jump out of that one as well. Thank you to everyone that has joined us. We really do appreciate all the feedback we get and everyone's input. And it means a lot to us because, we just do it for a bit of fun. Greyhounds next week, mate, for you?
I've got a big night tomorrow night. It's the first round of, or the first night of the launching pad series for the greyhounds at Sandown. It's a slot race series, so there's 64 slots. You have to purchase a slot in the series. They're $2,000 each. There's $460,000 in the pool, and it's a really good concept because essentially 70% of the dogs entered will win some form of prize money. So it's actually it's a really good venture. The 8 heats tomorrow night. It's some of the dogs going around are unbelievable. The series itself, they've probably said that this is probably the best lineup that they've ever had, and I wouldn't be far wrong in saying that. Some of the dogs going around are absolute jets, and they're going to be big players in some big races down the track. But really looking forward to that. And then my April's looking pretty busy, calling most of the Easter Carnival at Bendigo. So looking forward to all the Gold Rush series there, and all the other good races across the Easter period at Bendigo. So that kicks off in the next week or so.
Don't try and find me if you're looking for me after Sunday. We'll be non-contactable. Get through Nutrien, both the yearling parade and the live sale, and we go there.
And then you disappear for a week.
Don't forget that all roads lead there to Oaklands Junction. As I said, I don't want that. See, I did that thing. We hit the wrong button, Daniel. Yearling parade will be live on Campbell's Comments, Facebook's, YouTube, and website from 1 o'clock. Almost got them mixed up. Also the Nutrien feeds. And then 11 o'clock, the sale starts on the Sunday, 11 o'clock sharp, Sunday morning. The first horse will go through, so we wish everyone good luck. Before I let you go, Daniel, race 1 tonight was won by Speedy Lover.
Speedy Lover, yes.
So we had Sea Rover, Sea Lover, and then Speedy Lover won the... It's just...
Too many, yeah. And by Love You, as is my horse, my sheriff horse.
Out of a beautiful horse in right interest too. She has done a great job over the journey. I'm just quickly trying to. No, it's not that. She's related to Right Interest, a horse my wife. Not Right Interest. National Interest, who my wife won a Monty race on. So I like to mention unusual things. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. Daniel, thank you very much, mate. Good luck to Mount Gambier Harness Racing Club on the weekend, and good luck to all the people selling horses in the yearling sales this year at Nutrien. I'll be on the airways a fair bit from now until through to then. So thank you very much for joining me, and thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, mate.